Did you tell anyone that they hadn't done the right job in that first fight?
Yeah, I told a couple people, yeah, and a couple people knew.
Should they have pulled you out?
Could have, would have, should have. That's something that we all have to live on for the rest of our lives.
Tim, you're fighting in a world title fight as co-main event to Manny Pacquiao. That's pretty crazy. Like, well, imagine saying that to you when you're 13 or so.
Yeah, you know what? Like right now, it doesn't faze me. I'm fighting on the biggest stage, so it doesn't surprise me anymore. The 13-year-old self would be pinching myself. Right now, I'm not. I feel where I'm at peace and where I belong.
It's still pretty nuts that you're fighting on the same card as Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, who would have thought? Who would have thought, you know? Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, that was the era that I sort of grew up in. Now, sharing the card, it's pretty cool.
Who's this little guy and what's happened over the last week?
So I got Pablo when I first moved out of home, so he's been with me for 9 years. But yeah, he had a little infection and it caused it to go towards the brain. So he's had major surgery, which has rocked me for a bit, but I'm glad he's on his way to recovery. Dogs become your kids, basically, you know. They're your best mate, and it was a hard time, honestly. Probably the hardest situation that I've ever been in. It was just like the uncontrollable, not knowing what's going to happen. The hardest thing was trying to be able to stay present during training as well. You know, like being able to continue the sparring and continue the training. And even though there was so much outside noise, I was able to really zonk in, and even during my sparring, it was the best I've ever performed, and it was a real test of character for myself. It gave me a good perspective of life now, you know, like our small little problems are so small, you know.
Is he going to be your inspiration for the fight?
Yeah, for sure. There was a couple times when I was like getting smashed in the gym, just trying to push through, and I was thinking in the back of my head, I was like, if Pablo can go through what he's gone through, what's this little bit of pain right now?
Aside from that, how's everything else been in this preparation? You've had so many tricky ones with hand injuries, being bitten by a different dog.
Yeah.
All sorts of stuff. What about this one?
This one's been all right. This one's been good besides that.
I think people probably forget about the fact that you did have such short notice on Fundora being a replacement opponent and that adjustment. There's a moment at the weigh-in for the previous fight when after you've faced off, you throw punches like... was that an interesting time when you actually stood it in front of him going, I'm going to fight this dude tomorrow and he's a giant? Was that weird for you?
Yeah, it was just sussing it all out, you know. It takes time to adapt to someone that tall. And... yeah, I remember that way, and I was like, all right, I've got to throw punches in a different direction, you know, to usual. But yeah, now that I've seen him face-to-face multiple times, the fact that we've shared the ring together, it feels different now, you know, like I've gotten used to the height. It's not a shock anymore. It's like, all right, this is what I've got in front of me now, rather than, oh, shit, this guy's tall, you know?
Watching that first fight back, you must be impressed, and I know that we were like watching the fight, how quickly you did adjust to him. It seemed like you'd worked him out after, like before all hell broke loose, obviously. It seemed like you'd worked him out pretty quickly. Is that what it felt like? Yeah,
to a certain extent. I remember being able to see his punches. I remember being able to think, all right, he's not as quick as I thought, or his legs aren't as good as I thought, or he's long. Being able to understand what I have in front of me, and I remember being able to figure that out in the first 1 to 2 rounds. At
that point, were you confident that you could break him down and stop him?
In my head, I was going towards a knockout. That's what I felt, and I had it all under control until all hell broke loose.
And here is where the cut happened. May have been the left elbow of Sebastian Fundora.
You have rewatched it a couple of times. What do you see when you see all that happening?
Yeah, I think Fundora did good, given his circumstances. I wasn't able to adapt. That pace that I had a little bit diminished.
So does it feel like you're sort of picking up in round 3 of that previous fight rather than round 13?
I hope to make it a whole new fight, actually, from round 1 onwards.
What was it like seeing him again? Did you see anything different in him?
No, the first time was all right. He said congrats on my wedding. I was like, oh, fair enough, thanks.
Yanks really seem to be fascinated by your wedding.
I seen Charlo at the fights, and he came up to me. No, he walked past me. I mean, we saw each other. We both went into shock. In my head, I was like, I'm ready to fight now. And he goes, congratulations. I'm like, oh, what? He goes, your wedding. I go, oh, thanks, bro. I didn't know how to react. I was like, all right, fair enough. And then he just kept walking to his seat, and I was like, all right, fair enough. I had Fundora and I had Charlo congratulate me on my wedding. It must be something different in the USA.
Yeah, it seems like. And then I saw the interviews you did, that like 90% of the questions are about
my weddings. I was like, all right, fair enough.
Do you think it's because they thought you were like a robot, like this Russian Australian dude, and now they're like, oh no, he's a human?
Yeah, that's a compliment, actually. It's a compliment. I like that.
Well, we should send them the vision of you talking about your dog as well.
Yeah, they might think differently, right? This guy's actually got a heart. That's the Aussie in me.
Just from the outside, it feels like he seems like he's been through a bit since that fight himself. He seems like he's got more of an edge to him. He seems angrier in some ways. Did you pick up on that?
To a certain extent, yeah. In the last presser, he seemed a bit angry. Don't know what about. Started bringing teams into it and stuff like that. Don't know whether if it's selling a fight or if he's just a bit angry. You know, not my problem.
Another thing that he said, which I found really interesting, is that he didn't have a broken nose. He said that he could have fought again straight away, pretty much. Whereas we all thought that he was badly damaged, and he looked badly damaged, clearly in the ring and after the fight as well. Do you buy that he didn't have a broken nose?
I thought he did break his nose. It was busted, that's for sure. He was breathing from his mouth. Don't know. The thing with a broken nose, it can do damage. So the fact that he's saying that it didn't, then that's probably another edge to me coming into this next one.
You had a really good line, should have killed me the first time.
Yeah.
When did you think of that? When you were watching the fight back? Or?
No, I've always had this feeling. Yeah, I've always had this feeling.
Do you remember after that fight, can you take yourself back to what it felt like there? And does that sort of push you in this fight as well? Because I'd clearly never seen you in that state.
It wasn't the fact that I lost. It was a split decision loss, but could have gone either way. That doesn't matter. But it was just a tough battle to go through, given the circumstances, and I'm here to revenge it.
There's going to be a lot of focus on your team again, given everything that happened the first time around. Do you address any of that with any of the members beforehand?
No, the boys know. The best thing is, after the fight, we all sat down, we took accountability. A lot of people pointed fingers and basically said that everyone's got to point a finger at themselves, including myself. And from there we grow, and we grow as individuals and as a team. And everyone was able to point the finger at themselves, what they did wrong, what should have been done. And we grew and we became better. And my job is to do what I have to do, and everyone else has to do what they have to do, and that's it. It's about evolution.
Did you tell anyone that they hadn't done the right job in that first fight?
Yeah, I told a couple people, yeah, and a couple people knew, you know, but the thing is, I pointed the finger at myself. That was the main thing. I pointed the finger on myself because I wasn't able to adapt at certain times, and I sort of let the rounds go on. I could have kept going, not become emotional, not fight with the way I came out in the third round, but rather more a tactical approach, and it would have been a different story.
Should they have pulled you out?
Could have, would have, should have. That's something that we all have to live on for the rest of our lives. But now it's time to rewrite the script and create the biggest comebacks of Aussie sporting history.
A lot of people are like, oh, what version of Tim do we have now? Because of what happened, the bloodbath, and then Orlando.
I think with the years go by, you learn more about yourself and everything. The mentality hasn't changed. Even with the Bahram loss, I think it was there was a lot of reasons for it, I believe. But yeah, what happens happens, and this is the best version of myself.
What's the main reason for what happened there in your mind?
Look, I got caught early, very early, and I was concussed. I had concussion from round 2. As soon as I got hit with that shot, I remember feeling something that I've never felt before. And it wasn't about being able to come back and be able to dig in. If I was able to keep on going, fighting through a concussion like that, who knows what could have happened? Honestly, who knows? So I'm sort of glad that it didn't go to the later parts, because of course health is number one, and for myself I would never quit, and I think that was a good lesson learned.
Did you feel the pressure of all that for that Joey Spencer fight? Did you, look, you know, a couple of losses and then this fight back home, which was meant to sort of see you born again? Did you feel that pressure?
To a certain extent, not much. I just do my thing, you know. Like each time, it sort of feels the same way. In all honesty, the biggest pressure I've ever really had was at the start of my career. You know, when you're one fight loss away from, shit, what do I do with my life? You know, that's the tough position. When you're fighting at that world level, sometimes there is no shame. You know, there is no shame losing to the very top and to the very best in the business. So what? There's a few more eyeballs and people talk and that, but at the end of the day, who gives a crap? You're doing something you love, fighting on the biggest stage of them all, you know, against the best of them all. So that's how I see it. The opportunities are endless. That's what, again, drives me. And the fact that I've got to get through this to achieve the goals that I need to achieve and want to keep going, that's what I've got to do. That's the motivation, inspiration, that all I need.
Is it unfinished business with Charlo?
There's a couple names. There's Damon, there's Charlo, there's Fundora. They're the 3 that are in my eyes.